What if I told you that right now, sitting in your pantry, you could have foods that will literally outlast you? Not 5 years, not 10 years, but potentially centuries. We're talking about real, edible, nutritious food that ancient civilizations relied on and that modern preppers swear by. Today, I'm giving you the definitive list of 10 foods you need to stockpile immediately because they essentially never expire. And trust me, number 7 on this list is going to completely change how you think about food storage forever. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually thought about what would happen if you couldn't get to a grocery store for a month? Most people assume that situation could never happen to them. But between supply chain disruptions, natural disasters, economic instability, and everything else the world keeps throwing at us, having a serious food stockpile isn't paranoia anymore, it's basic survival intelligence. And the beautiful thing about everything on this list is that you don't need special equipment, you don't need a bunker, and you won't be eating terrible tasting survival food either. These are real ingredients that actually taste good and that you're probably already using in your kitchen right now. Let's start with number 1. This is the undisputed king of eternal shelf life honey. Archaeologists excavating ancient Egyptian tombs have discovered honey that is over 3,000 years old, and the mind-blowing part is it was still perfectly edible. Honey does not expire because of its incredibly low moisture content combined with its naturally acidic pH. Bacteria and mold simply cannot survive in it. The only thing you need to do is store it in an airtight container away from moisture, and you are set for life, literally. Honey also has remarkable medicinal properties, acts as a natural preservative for other foods, and gives you quick energy when you need it most. If you are only buying one thing from this list today, make it raw honey in a sealed glass jar. Number 2 is white rice. Now, before you click away because you think this is obvious, stay with me because most people are storing their rice completely wrong. White rice, when sealed properly in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, can last anywhere from 25 to 30 years. But the keyword here is white rice, not brown rice. Brown rice contains natural oils that will go rancid within about 6 months. White rice has had those oils removed during processing, which is exactly what gives it that remarkable shelf life. Buy it in bulk, transfer it to 5-gallon food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers, and you will have a foundational calorie source that will be there whenever you need it. Coming in at number 3 is pure salt. Salt is arguably the oldest food preservation technology in human history. Ancient Romans actually paid soldiers partially in salt, and that is literally where the word salary comes from. Pure table salt, or sea salt with no added iodine, has an infinite shelf life when kept dry. Iodized salt technically has a use-by date because the iodine can degrade over time, but the salt itself never goes bad. Beyond being a seasoning, salt is absolutely critical for food preservation, electrolyte balance, and curing meats. Stock up heavily on this one. It takes up almost no space and costs almost nothing. Number 4 is white sugar. Just like salt, pure granulated white sugar will never spoil as long as moisture stays out. Sugar is hygroscopic, meaning it pulls moisture from the air, and moisture is the enemy of long-term storage. Keep your sugar in airtight, sealed containers in a cool, dry location, and you are looking at an indefinite shelf life. It may clump over time, but you can simply break those clumps apart, and the sugar is completely fine to use. Sugar provides important calories under stress and can also be used to preserve other foods like jams and fruits. At number 5, we have hard liquor, specifically spirits with an alcohol content of 40% or higher. Pure distilled spirits like vodka, rum, whiskey, and grain alcohol will not support bacterial growth, and they simply do not expire. Beyond drinking, high-proof alcohol is an invaluable survival resource for sanitization, fire starting, cleaning wounds, and even as a trade commodity in serious emergency scenarios. Store sealed bottles in a dark, cool location, and they will be just as potent decades from now as they are today. Number 6 is white distilled vinegar. This is one of the most underrated stockpile items on this entire list. The high acidity of vinegar makes it completely inhospitable to bacteria and pathogens. Pure distilled white vinegar has a verified indefinite shelf life, and it is extraordinary in how many ways you can use it. You can use it for food preservation, pickling, cleaning, and disinfecting surfaces, treating certain skin conditions, and countless cooking applications. A few gallons of white vinegar sitting in your stockpile takes up minimal space and provides enormous utility in a crisis. And now we arrive at number 7, the one I promised would change your thinking. Vanilla extract, specifically pure extract with at least 35% alcohol content. Because of its alcohol base, pure vanilla extract is shelf-stable, essentially forever. But here is why this matters beyond the obvious kitchen use. Pure vanilla extract is extremely expensive, and in a prolonged economic crisis or disruption, having luxury flavoring items dramatically affects morale and mental health. Studies of long-term survival situations consistently show that the psychological impact of food monotony is severely underestimated. Having something as simple as vanilla extract to make your rice pudding or oatmeal taste incredible can make an enormous difference in how you and your family cope with extended hardship. Never underestimate morale food. Number 8 is dried beans. Now, technically, dried beans have a caveat worth mentioning. They do not lose their safety indefinitely, meaning they will not make you sick, but after about 25 to 30 years, their texture and digestibility can become more challenging. Nutritionally, they remain sound for decades. Packed with protein, fiber, and complex carbohydrates, dried beans are one of the most calorie-efficient and nutrient-dense foods you can stockpile. Combined with white rice, they actually form a complete protein profile, meaning together they give your body all the essential amino acids it needs to function. Store them in sealed containers with oxygen absorbers, just like your rice. Number 9 is pure maple syrup. Many people are surprised to learn that commercially produced pure maple syrup, when kept in an unopened container, has an indefinite shelf life. Its high sugar content and low water activity prevent microbial growth in the same way honey does. Once opened, it needs refrigeration. An unopened, sealed container stored in a cool, dark place will remain perfectly good, essentially forever. Beyond being a calorie-dense sweetener, pure maple syrup contains meaningful amounts of minerals like manganese and zinc, making it nutritionally superior to refined sugar in a long-term survival context. And rounding out our list at number 10 is instant coffee and tea. Now, technically, the flavor and aroma compounds in coffee and tea do degrade gradually over time, but the actual product remains safe and consumable essentially indefinitely when properly stored in airtight, sealed containers away from light and heat. Beyond the obvious energy and mood benefits, caffeine is genuinely important in a crisis for maintaining alertness and cognitive function. And the morale factor here cannot be overstated. The ability to make yourself a hot cup of coffee in a difficult situation is a remarkably powerful psychological anchor. Stock both instant coffee and a variety of sealed tea bags in your emergency supply. Now let me give you the 3 biggest mistakes people make when building their stockpile, because it does not matter what you store if you are storing it wrong. First, ignoring moisture. Moisture is the #1 enemy of every single item on this list. Always use airtight containers and seriously consider adding silica gel desiccant packets to your storage. Second, skipping oxygen absorbers. Oxygen degrades food even when no moisture is present. 5-gallon food-grade buckets with proper Gamma Seal lids and oxygen absorbers inside are your best friend for long-term storage. Third, and this is the biggest one, storing everything in one location. If a flood, fire, or other disaster hits your home, you want backup supplies in a secondary location. A storage unit, a family member's home, even a well-sealed outdoor storage box can serve as your backup. Here is the bottom line. The world is unpredictable, and the one thing every single person who has ever faced a serious crisis says afterward is that they wish they had been more prepared. Building a stockpile does not require thousands of dollars or a survivalist mindset. It just requires knowledge and consistent small action over time. Start today by grabbing one item from this list on your next grocery trip. Just one. Build it gradually, and within a few months, you will have a supply that gives you genuine peace of mind no matter what the world decides to throw your way. If you found this useful, hit that subscribe button because every single week we are covering exactly this kind of practical, real-world knowledge that could genuinely change your life. Drop in the comments which item surprised you most, and check out the video on screen right now for more essential preparedness knowledge you need to see.